Karen's pull-up game is too strong. Fatima has no problem being patient. And is Andi finally seeing the devil that is Scary Gary? What's good, y'all? It's your good sis Erica Vane coming to you right here on Erica Vane TV with another Sistas video. In this video, I'm doing a preview to episode number 20 in season 4. But keep in mind that I'm doing this preview with just the end of episode 19 teaser that we got, not necessarily the trailer. So I may come with another video if we get another trailer before next week's episode. But I wanted to break down the scenes that we received first so we can talk about what we can probably expect in next week's episode. If you're new here, go ahead and give me a subscribe as I break down Sistas in depth, truly having conversations about every little bit of the show. And if you love Sistas, I think that you're going to love it here. So go ahead and hit the subscribe button, turn on your bell notifications so you don't miss out on any of my Sistas videos. Now, without further ado, let's talk about this preview. So the preview starts with Andi running out of her own penthouse. Well, actually the penthouse that Gary bought her, but it isn't her name, so it is her penthouse. And she's like, don't follow me, don't come after me. She pushes him back so he doesn't get on the elevator with her. And this is interesting because at the end of episode 19 we get to see Gary like having all of these visions or reenactment, seeing all of the visions of Andi getting that ass waxed all up and through the penthouse. So he can't even be in the penthouse, sit down with Andi, who called him over to have a conversation because for whatever reason she was feeling froggy, decided to leap and make a phone call to Gary, part of which I don't understand. But you know, check out my breakdown video if you really want to know my thoughts on that entire scene within the episode, as well as my thoughts on Andi's psyche, because sis is tripping. But staying focused on what we see here, I thought that initially we saw Gary leave because he just couldn't handle it. He saw Robin on this couch and Robin on that couch and Robin over here and Andi drinking out this glass and he don't want a glass of wine and all of this kind of stuff. Cool. Get your and go. I thought that he left because he got so discombobulated, but clearly he didn't. He is still there, or maybe he came back. He stepped out and came back, and then I think maybe he comes clean about it and like maybe even goes as far as to say, I bought this penthouse for us, but you have all these other niggas here. And then it becomes a argument. And now we're seeing the results of it, which is Andi storming out. Girl, where's your purse? Where is your keys? I don't see any of that in your hand. Where's all of your stuff? Because you're in this damn penthouse and you shouldn't be anyway. The fact that Gary gave it to you, you already knew that this wasn't going to be it, but you keep wanting to believe in bullshit ass fairy tales when they come from Gary, and every single time it bites you in your ass. You didn't learn when you got left in the countryside after y'all got hemmed up by the FBI. You didn't know when all your accounts got frozen, they was running all up and through your house. Like, when are you going to learn, Andi? I will wait. When are you going to learn? You are so excited about Robin. You're enjoying your time with Robin. You respect the maturity that Robin brings to y'all's whole little interaction, situationship, whatever this is that y'all got going on. And yet and still, you still trying to peek your goofy ass head over the fence to see what's going on in this other yard. Tend to the grass that you're currently in and stop worrying about the grass on the other side. The shit is brown and moldy. You already there. You in greener pastures. Stop trying to run your goofy ass back. Now, I don't want to have to say it again, Andi. Yo, why do I talk to these girls like they're my friends? But Andi's stressful. So that's what we see first up in this little preview. And part of it's like, Andi, I don't even give a damn about these theatrics that you got storming up out of this penthouse, because girl, you should have never invited him over. You and Gary should be done. All of your communications with him should be done. This man does not value you. He does not think well of you. Like, he only wants to possess and control you. And the fact that you get some kind of kick out of it and or turned off, I hate that for you and your self-esteem. I really do. At your big age. It would be a different story if your ass was 21 or to 26, honey. If you was in that range, this would be a different story. I'd be like, oh, well, you know, you got to live and you got to learn. You done been through this before. You done been through an abusive relationship before. You know the signs. You know what it feels like. Why are you playing with fire? Okay, off Andi, because I can go all damn day and night. Next up, y'all, we get to see Bayo and Sabrina, and we know in the episode, Sabrina makes a note of like, oh, should we double date since you're meeting up with the little, you know, police officer, yo, and I'm gonna be, with Bio, and you're coming to Bio's restaurant anyway. So Danny's like, yeah, sure, but like, let's fill it out. So I guess Danny gets there early so that she can meet Bio, and instead of calling over her boo to the table, she gets up and leave in the scene that we see in the teaser. And Bio is just enamored because Danny is just so fine. That girl was just so fine. Ooh, blow his mind. She's so fine. Boy, are you not sitting across from the girl that you supposedly want? See? This is that stereotypical African multiple wives storyline. I knew it was coming out of somewhere. Y'all been saying in the comment section, and I'm like, oh, but now here it is. He made her uncomfortable with like how he just kept regarding how beautiful Danny was. And then Sabrina's like, well, do you want me to ask her to come back over here? And he's like, could you? Could I for what? Do you want to go on a date with me or my friend? Like, you gonna have to make it clear. And I don't give a damn about what's going on in your country or what you used to or whatever, because right now you are in Atlanta, boo, and you are dating me, honey. So I'm gonna need you to stay focused or step off. And Sabrina, I'm gonna need you to cultivate this kind of flavor, because he was running around here talking about you should be driven around and you are like a princess and you should be given the world and you're just so amazing. If I'm so amazing, then stay focused, Negro. Keep your eyes right here. If I'm so amazing. I said what I said. Now, I don't know if Aaron don't realize that one, Karen is probably home by now, or he ain't got no damn home to go to. But why are you still in Gary's office after Gary goes to see Andi? And honestly, y'all, I don't know what this is, because Tyler Perry has been playing with us in the last 4 episodes and giving us reverse ass scenes and giving us scenes and then taking it away, because then the characters don't remember that they actually already did something or they already said something and they act like they didn't say something. So I have no idea where this damn scene falls in the timeline, but this is one of the scenes of the teaser where Aaron is like trying to continue to coach Gary. But in episode 19, we've already seen him leave Aaron the moment that Andi called him over to the penthouse. But what I will say is that the moment we get to hear Aaron tell him that this isn't love, because he's screaming, oh, I love her. And he's like, no, this is not love. This is an obsession. And then we see Gary say, I know. I'm hoping that he's saying he knows to the obsession, because at this point, Tyler Perry, you're going to have to cultivate some type of redemption story or kick Gary ass off the show, because I mentioned this on my live that I did right after the episode. I was live on IG. So if you didn't follow me or you're not following me, be sure to follow me at ericavane.com so that you don't miss out on those impromptu conversations where I share with you guys my initial thoughts around the show. And sometimes I deep dive into certain psyche and things that are really just speaking to me. This one, I was really ranting. But one of the things I said is like, Gary has become a villain that's too big for this show. He has no consequences. He has no moral tie to anybody. There's not one character within the Sistas world that he actually cares about or fears that gives him some types of checks and balances, which makes him a villain that is too big for the show. At this point, everything that happens when it comes to him feels like we will never win regardless, because he never gets truly held accountable for the things that he's doing. Hayden is a villain on the show, but he has Robin now as his boss, as an antagonist. You have Andi as an antagonist. You have Fatima, and it's like a tennis match basically, where she do something to him or he do something to her. She do something to him. He do something to her. She do something to him. And they both have a certain level of fear to what could happen depending on how this escalates. With Gary, there is no fear on his side, which makes it completely unfair and ultimately makes the story uninteresting. It's almost like he's Thanos. We cannot win at all, so he needs to be removed from the show. Y'all have Hayden. Karen has ultimately become a pseudo type of villain when it comes to the whole Fatima storyline, but even that, like, there are stakes there. She cares what ZAC thinks about her. She cares what her friends thinks about her. She cares what Aaron thinks about her, and she's still fighting all of the things that she's feeling, still making mistakes. So there's room for stories to be told. There's room for accountability to be had. There's room for like her to get checked or her to be redirected. Gary is never being redirected, never being accountable, never being fully checked, because because even in this moment, Aaron is supposed to be his counselor. He don't care. He don't care what Aaron is saying. He don't care that he is utterly deranged. He literally feels no consequences at all. And I do not know how a character actually works in any story if they have no consequences or no fear of losing anything. He don't even really fear losing Andi, because the idea of him losing Andi is just sending him into a greater spiral, which means, like, to me, he's just going to go to a place of like, if I can't have you, nobody can, which again, ultimately, he's too big of a villain for what this story is given. It's time for Gary to go. Aside from me just being tired of his abuse of Andi, he truly just does not fit anymore. Like, there's no way to buy in and relate to him. There's no way to be empathetic to him. Like, it's so many reasons why he gotta go. And this teaser little moment just shows exactly that. You do not love this girl. You do not know what love is. You are truly obsessed with her. You don't even know why you're obsessed with her. And now this really makes you think, was his wife actually as crazy as we thought she was? Or was she meeting this man where he is at? Because he's deranged. Now, the second to last scene that we get to see is Fatima in the bath, and ZAC is talking to her, and she's just like, I'm a very patient woman. Don't take advantage of that. Chill. You're going to have to be patient and continue to be patient, it looks like, for the foreseeable future, because ZAC got some mess with him. And Karen ass is pulling up as y'all speak. The next scene from there is Andi talking to Karen like, are you outside ZAC's house? And she like, what if I am? And then we get to see her walking up because she got some things she need to get off her chest. Karen, take your ass home. You do not belong there, mama. I love you. I truly do. This ass whooping that Fatima might hand you at this door, you asked for it. That's all I'm gonna say. You asked for that shit. Y'all, those are my thoughts on the teaser for episode number 20, season 4. Drop down in the comment section and let me know what are your predictions for next week's episode and your thoughts for this week's episode. Also, go and check out my breakdown for episode 19 if you haven't already. I cannot wait to hear y'all's thoughts in the comment section. I'm gonna go check them out now. It's your good sis E that you love to talk TV with, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.